Hi everyone, it's Jeanette here, Enthusiastic Gardener. It's such a beautiful late summer day here in Essex, England. So I wondered, would you like to come and have a walk around the garden with me? Well, it is such a beautiful day today, late summer. It's Friday today, the 5th of September. We had a whole week of rain, lots of heavy rain, and the garden has enjoyed it so much. You may know, if you've followed me for the last few weeks, that we've been adding lots of perennials. So I didn't really have very many perennials, so now I've added more. And let's go through. This is a blue spruce. It's called Super Blue Seedling Apiaceae pungens, which I limbed up a few weeks back, maybe a month ago. It had all long branches which took up pretty much all of this flower bed, and I limbed it up, and now I've been able to plant beneath. So this is a hardy geranium here, which finished a while ago. We've got the last few little bits of colour. That's now I painted a couple of years ago. It was just a stone, old stone thing, looking very old and weary, and I painted it. And he's been named by my friend Bron from Australia, and she called him Sir Lancelot, and that name has just stuck. Now I may paint this. It's a wooden, carved out of wood, my toadstool, which is lovely. It's going greyer. I'm thinking about painting that. And when I paint things, I do add varnish, clear varnish spray on top, which seems to make things last. And you can see in the distance is my cat, which we can have a look at a little bit closer as we go round. But he was painted, one of my very first videos. I don't recommend you go and watch it because it's not the best of videos, but I painted him, got him from a car boot sale. We'll have a look a little bit more when we go round. Then we have New Verbena, and this is a variety called Rigida. Very pretty. The pollinators love it, and that's a perennial, so that will be returning. The Sedum Autumn Joy is beginning to turn pink now, and last year I had two big clumps, which you can see over in the background, those two clumps there, and I divided one and put some here, and I think this spring I'm going to divide these three to make 6, and I think I might dot them over in the background, which is the area that I cleared last week, which I think sedum would look lovely there. I mean, sedum is beautiful. And we have Little Gold Star Rebecca. This is actually 3 plants. They've been very nice. Pollinators love them, and what I like about Rebecca is because when the flowers go, as you can see, you're left with the little middles, which are good for winter interest. So that's been pretty. And the other thing in this bed is new. It's called a Coprosma, and it's called a Pacific Dawn is the variety, and I just loved the colour. I think it's going to grow big, probably too big for this area, but I'm going to try and keep it in check. And next to it we have Lime Marmalade Heuchera. So that's that bed, which is looking nice, I think. Particularly the beautiful Sedum Autumn Joy. And that will go darker pink, and it's beautiful. The next border we have is the border with the wildlife pond. And this in particular is quite full, as you can see. We have an osmanthus. This poor osmanthus was in a shallow pot for quite a few years, tucked away in the dark area of Woodland Courtyard. Didn't get any love and attention. This year I've planted it here. Finally, I thought, goodness, it deserves it. Honestly, it's been a stalwart in the garden. It's just kept on going through adversity. Lots of heucheras in my garden, and you'll see the grasses, which I thinned out enormously. These grasses are called Carex, and they're Moroi eye stance, and they are the grass that gives and gives. Honestly, I keep replanting the little pups that pop up, and it's amazing. Have a lot of ivies along here, which I keep cutting back, and we have some lamium. Lamium is great, but it's a little bit of a thug. I'm always cutting it back, and you'll see lots of heucheras everywhere. This is an andina, which is quite nice. I don't know the variety, but it doesn't go such beautiful, or it hasn't already, beautiful colours as another nandina I have, which I'll show you in a moment, which is turning beautiful autumn colours. And we have an echinacea, which I've just planted, very pretty. I have 3 of this colour. It's called Sunseeker Clementine, and that's beautiful. And we have another blue spruce. This one is also a super blue seedling. Again, I limbed it up at the bottom. And we have the wildlife pond, which this I have to keep fishing out. You can see how it's just oh, that needs a good fishing out. I'm ashamed, but anyway, that's the wildlife pond. I don't take quite so much care of this one as I do my other one, which has the fish in. It's very pretty, very pretty. Some more Rebecca Little Gold Star, and we have another Sedum Autumn Joy, and you can see pollinators. They love the sedum, they're everywhere. Beautiful. So that is my pretty little wildlife pond, and you can see over the back, well, one of the mushrooms has fallen over. I painted these as well, and then over the back we've got a little hideaway for any frogs which might wish to have a little visit. And we have a hibernaculum and underground tunnels here, which you can see are downpipes. Can you see? Oops. Well, let's pull the ivy out, because that's going to impede. Oh yes, there's a tunnel, and there are 3 tunnels, entrances. One is here. We have another one here, and a third over here, which you can see better. And that leads down into a hibernaculum, which is about 2 foot deep, and it's filled with little tunnels and shelters and things for hibernating creatures. So that's that. Over here we've got a Clematis justa, which is finished now. That was very pretty earlier, and for some reason we have these volunteers, which are Verbena bonariensis has just decided to pop up, and I don't have any of that in my garden, so where that has come from must be birds, I'm guessing. And these 2 flamingos, I found them on a dog walk a couple of years ago. I found one day, brought it home with 2 dogs carrying a flamingo, and then the next day I went out again and found another one. So whoever put them there obviously put one there and then saw that it had gone and thought, someone does like them. It was down a bridle path, a walkway, so they left the second one. I went back the next day, there was not a third. This is Lottie, my lovely little Lottie, who's going to be 13 this year, and she is my little faithful garden companion. Follows me everywhere, don't you lots? You're a good girl. She is a good girl. Over here we have another pond, and this is where I have my little fish. I have tiny little, they're called gold white cloud mountain minnows, and they're delightful. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Sometimes they'll go like that. They come and see me. Here's one. Oh, yeah, they're coming. I have 10. Every now and then I try to count them, make sure they're all still there. But they dart around so much, so quickly, it's quite hard to count them. This is a pelargonium, and the variety is called Contrast, and I really do like the colourful leaves. And I think what I'll do when this finishes, I should deadhead really, you can tell it's deadhead time, so I usually do it once a week, and then more come. That's a new lot, there's quite a lot of those. So when they finish, I think probably for the winter I will get some pansies. I think they will look nice. And then that is star jasmine, which I've trained into the diamondy shape, just the wires on the wall. And that's done so well. It smells incredible in the summertime. That is a walnut tree, never does particularly well, but it's just there really. And the beautiful fountain is from Blagden Water Gardening, and that's called the Fairy Spitter Ann. And she's beautiful. And she comes on intermittently because we have a solar, that wire there is the solar panel, which is that there. And it really works well. So she comes on, there are different settings. You can have it just for 4 hours non-stop, once a day, or different things like that. But I just have it on random settings. So as soon as it gets a bit of power from the sun, it starts up again. It is beautiful. I do love water in the garden, so that's the solar panel up there. I haven't done anything to that window box this year. Hasn't had anything in it. It's just time seemed to have slipped away from me, and I didn't get round to doing it. That's just a rose, Santana rose, which is finished. I need to tidy that. This border here, I cleared it. It was so overgrown and full last week, if you saw that video. And I went through and tidied everything up. And it's nice. And now I'm deciding what to do. So there's quite a lot of space. There's usually a fountain there, but the fountain's just been taken away to it's losing water. So it's going to be fixed, or Richard will have a look at it. But going through quickly, we have some thyme, creeping thyme, can't remember the varieties, but that's nice. We have a Taxus baccata. This is an olive tree, and I particularly love the way the trunk has been moulded or sculpted into that curling round and round shape. This is a formium called brown sugar. Then we have another Taxus baccata behind it. They are yews, Taxus baccata. This is a Fatsia japonica, which is one of the favourite things I have in the garden. Love it. Over the back, along the fence, is a wonderful rose. It's called a Schneewittchen, and it has white clusters. Oh, it's loaded. Absolutely beautiful. Schneewittchen, and that means snow white in German. And then here we have a Pinus, Van der Wolf's Pyramid, which last week I cut away all the branches on the lower 18 inches, 2 foot probably, because that is going to get huge. So I wanted to see what it would be like as a topiary, and surprisingly none of you told me off for doing that, which I was pretty amazed about. Then we have another yew, which are topiarised or cut into a nice neat shape the other day. This is another ornament that I've painted, little hedgehog just sitting on his rock. We have a apple Jonagold. It's only a young tree, but we do have 2 apples. No, 3 apples. Beautiful. And this is a lovely bay tree. And then along this border here, I call this my container garden. So here we have, first of all, a little container full of beautiful ivies. And then this is a Loropetalum and it's called Dark Red. Very lovely. Now probably, quite possibly, have to protect this in the winter. But I have some fleece, so I need to think about that. And as we move round, this is a Chimerops, and it is a little version. It's not going to grow as big as the huge ones grow, but it's not one of the big normal ones. Lots of heucheras. Always find heucheras in my garden. I love the colours, and I'm so lucky that they seem to like it in my garden. That there is an osmanthus. We have the beautiful Trachycarpus fortunei. I think I planted this, I think it was 2021, could have been 2022, so it's either 3 years or 4 years, and it's been wonderful. Love it. It's very happy there. This is my Cercis canadensis, is a red bud. I'm in love with red buds, and this one is called Golden Falls, and I only planted it early this spring, and it's been amazing. You can see the leaf cutter bees. They like it too, but they're so beautiful, and I like them so much. I have 3 red buds. And then we have a container in the back, and in the container we just have some ivies, and that is called a euonymus green spire at the top. So that's this border. Along here, I'll show you the long length where we're heading. This is a euonymus as well. Another one of my new echinaceas. This one is called Sunseeker Red. And this is the Nandina that I was telling you about when we were over by the pond. This is the more beautiful one, and it's called Impression. Very lovely. And this here is a juniper. It's called Blue Arrow. It's never done particularly well for me, but it fills the gap. And I like the blue colour. As you can see, it looks blue against all the green. Next to it we have another star jasmine. This star jasmine is turning lovely autumnal colours. Very pretty. And this is a Mahonia, which in the winter time it has the brightest yellow flowers, and it's stunning. I highly recommend Mahonias. They do Mahonias now that aren't so spiky. I mean, this one's pretty lethal, but now you can get things like the one called Soft Caress, which I'm very interested in, that one. Then we have an obelisk. Sorry about the noise, but there's work going on in the garden just over the other side of my fence, so I hope that's not too irritating. This is just an obelisk with 3 tiers with ivies. And this here I love, Photinia Pink Crispy, which I've had for a couple of years. In the spring, the new leaves are bright pink. It's beautiful. I particularly wanted one of those after I spotted one in my friend Edie's garden. We still have roses and more rosebuds on this particular rose. which is very pretty. The colour never seems to come out very well when I try to film. And I don't know what this one is called because it was here when we moved in 20 years ago this November. We have this braided willow, which as you can see is sprouting along the trunk. So you have to come in and peel them off. Otherwise it will disappear in a cloud of leaves and you won't see the beautiful structure. But this will never grow taller where the willow branches are cut off. That's as tall as it gets. But then every year it sprouts these lovely willow branches. So that's pretty, but it likes a lot of water, incredible water consumption, that one. This is a Chamaecyparis. I do love topiary forms, so you'll see a lot of topiaries in my garden. And then below it is a peony, which I was finished a long time ago, so that's just sitting there now. Another rose behind it, which doesn't have any blooms on, but it does have buds. This is a David Austin rose, and it's called Olivia Rose Austin, and it's beautiful, beautiful pink. Then we have the Van Gogh Tuscan Totem Pole Cypress, which is 3 balls. It was originally just a long, tall, thin, skinny column, and then I decided that I would try and make it into 3 balls, which worked out. And this bit at the top seemed to have grown by itself, so I thought I'll just see what happens if that makes an interesting shape. You can see over the back, that's the work being done. Someone over there is having their front garden. I think they're having a new paving, because when I walked Lottie, I could see that's what it looked like they were doing. So apologies for the noise. Oh, big crane going up. I'll have to see their progress tomorrow morning. This here is beautiful, another red bud, and this one's called a Sweetheart Carolina. I only planted this spring, so this will be interesting to see what fall colours happen. It's really got lots of different colours. It is very, very pretty, and depending on how the light shines on it, sometimes it just looks magical the way the light shines on it. This is a smoke bush called Young Lady, it's been very smoky this year, but as you can see, it's oh yeah, we need probably to take all the smoke bushy bits off by now. Over the back we'll have a lot of pulmonarias, lungworts, dotted around. That is actually a heuchera there, but in the spring, the flowers on a pulmonaria are beautiful. So when everything's disappeared in the winter time, you can see the beautiful flowers a little bit better. This rose here is another David Austin. It's hard to get to, but this one is a James L. Austin, and this is all its second flush of blooms. Maybe I should back up because it's getting difficult. I'm walking through the middle of the bed. Let's back up. Here we have some more Rebecca, and this is called Goldstrom, which I've only just planted. I did have 3 plants, and then I thought, I could do with some more, so I put another 2 in, and then everyone was telling me, they'll spread. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I have too many, but I can always transplant those and dot them elsewhere. More lamium down there, and we've totally bypassed this border. So let's go back. We have a heuchera, a hardy geranium. This is just a repeat of the echinacea and the little goldstrum. This here is my Japanese maple bloodgood. Now you can see that it did get a bit scorched in the really hot weather we had. So yeah, it just gets morning sun really. I thought it would be alright. But I'm not going to do anything to the leaves because it will lose its leaves very soon anyway. And then next year they'll grow back beautiful. Then we have, this grass is just beautiful. And I don't know what it is, actually, not sure. I've had it a very long time, but it's lovely. Then we have my Alberta spruce, which if you saw, was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago, the video, I had a go at making a spiral topiary from this cone shape. I mean, it's been bashed in the rain since. We'll go around the other side and you can see what it looks like there. Another sedum autumn joy. And then we've got some more verbena, which I've just planted. That's called lollipop. So that doesn't grow very tall. And then we have a euonymus, another topiary. This is a lovely, lovely Japanese maple. And it's called a little princess, so it's never going to get very big. And it's in the perfect spot because although this is a sunny border, this one is kind of shaded by the euonymus, and also this is a cherry tree, a stellar cherry, and it's kind of hidden away. It's in a happy little spot. These are blue star junipers along the front. Some more little things I've planted recently. It's my little pixie fairy. This is Heliopsis, and we have a persicaria called Purple Fantasy, which after I planted that, quite a few of you said that that's a bit of a thug. We shall see. Some more Echinacea Sunseeker Red, another Chamaecyparis which is exactly the same as the one right over the back. Yeah, I do apologise about the noise. I hope it's not too off-putting. This is a view of the spiral topiary from this direction. Might have to start getting a bit quicker to avoid the noise. Typical, isn't it? Anyway, this is a 9 bark. And this one's called Magic Ball. I'm interested to see what colours this one's going to turn into over the autumn. I think that will be very pretty. My Photinia Red Robin, which looks beautiful in the spring. Bright red leaves. And here is a hydrangea just beginning to fade. Lots more pulmonaria lungwort, which are these. We have a lily, which didn't flower. This lily didn't flower either. And then here we have a lot of heucheras, and I love heucheras because of all the beautiful colours that you can get. There's a backup view of that border. The roses are beautiful. They're called the Ruby Wedding Rose. And this is its second flush of blooms as well. They're lovely. I've had that 4 years. This one. Over the back there is another Picea pungens blue spruce, and that one is a hoopsii. And you may think you have far too many trees close together. Yes, you'd be right. But I do hear that trees talk to each other, and they give each other a bit of room, so I'm hoping that's true. Because this redbud here, it's a forest pansy, and I've had this for 2 years. And then we have another 9 bark called the Lady in Red. This is a lovely cloud pruned topiary, which actually does need a little bit of a trim, because the two balls here seem to be merging into one, so we need to get onto that. But aren't the colours, the differences in the colours, I think really stand out. The blue of the Chamaecyparis, and then the bright green of the Fatsia, another Fatsia japonica. And you can see here all my pulmonaria lungworts dotted in the spring. Honestly, it's lovely. This is the last little section. This I call Shady Corner. I love Shady Corner. If I just could have one section of my garden to keep, I was only allowed, this is what I'd pick. This is the cat I was telling you about, and it's looking a little bit worn now. Probably give him another bit of a paint up. Usually full of crocosmia down the bottom, but I cut it all back yesterday. And then more pulmonaria lungwort, and another Japanese maple bloodgood. And I had to move this. This was over here when I originally planted it in spring, not realising how much sun that area got. So unfortunately those leaves got scorched, but as I say, like the other one, it's going to lose all its leaves, and then hopefully next year when the leaves appear, they'll be more protected here, because it's mostly shade, a tiny little bit of morning sun, and then mostly shade. So Shady Corner has turned into a fern garden, and you can see my piece de resistance over in the background is my Tasmanian tree fern, Dixonia antarctica, which I will show you in a moment. But we have a few pierces dotted around. That's a pieris. I think that's a forest flame. These little hedges are euonymus, so we've got a pathway that leads to my yellow chair, or you can take the diversion and you can go up to what is actually a garden illusion gate. So many of you like that, and it's from a company called primrose.co.uk, and they have lots of different styles, and it's just it's not a proper mirror, it's acrylic sheet, and then it's the way that they cut the wood looks like a door that's ajar. I'll show you when we walk up there. Lots of beautiful ferns. These are all in containers. It's just one, well, there are 4 low containers, you can't really see them. These ferns love it here, and every spring, or just before spring, I cut them right back, so the leaves that you see are this year's leaves. It's very, very happy. And the other thing that I adore are Brunnera. So Brunnera are the big silver leaves here. So I have a few of those, and in the springtime they have beautiful frothy blue flowers that look like forget-me-not, if you know what those flowers are like. It's just beautiful, this area with the Brunnera. So here's my wonderful purchase from earlier this year. I treated myself to this beautiful tree fern. It's got a new frond, has just appeared. It's a delight, a true delight. You have to water them a lot, that's the only thing, and you water right down into the crown. So you can get a watering can. Let's go this way. You can get a watering can and just pour water down there, or sometimes I do that, sometimes sorry, falling over things here. Sometimes I do that, and sometimes I just spray the hose on it, We've been very fortunate here because we haven't had a hose pipe ban. Here you can see a little bit better all the euonymus edges, and I've got a little bird bath there, which I do see birds going in. And also I thought it would be good humidity for the tree fern. The tree fern is protected overhead. We have all these trees which are the other side of my garden. So it's like being in its own little forest, which is what Tasmanian tree ferns are used to. They're an understory plant. This one is only 2 foot trunk, but I've cheated and I planted it in, this is a bottomless plant pot. So it goes all the way, there's no bottom to the pot. Well, obviously that's what a bottomless plant pot is. And let's look backwards, because I promised that I would show you this garden gate. You can see it's a mirror, and it's the way that the wood is cut. It's just flat, but it does very much look like the gate is ajar and something exciting is beyond. It's an illusion. So there we are, that's my garden in September. Thank you so much for your patience with the noise of the workmen, and I'll be out there tomorrow to see how much they've done and what they've been up to. Wherever you may be in the world, I hope you're having fun in your gardens, and lucky you down in the southern hemisphere just beginning your spring any day soon. Thanks for watching everyone. I'm Jeanette, I'm the Enthusiastic Gardener. Have fun in your gardens. Bye.